So I just recently turned 43 years old, and lately I've been having a whole lot of introspective on life and looking back at life and thinking, what things could I have done differently in my 20s and 30s? Guys, when you get to the 40s, you start thinking about all your past things. And there's a few things that I want to share with you guys about stuff that I thought that, man, if I did this in my 20s and 30s, life would just be so awesome. The first thing is not giving a shit what people think about you, okay? I thought so much about what other people thought about me, and I recognized I never put myself first. I became a people pleaser. I wanted to make everyone else happier. That way they can think I'm just this great guy. And that's just the worst thing to do. Also, what's horrible about that as well is if you ever want to do something great, you always are worried about what other people will say about you and whether people will judge you. And I got news for you. No one really cares what you do. It was difficult for me to do a YouTube channel because I was afraid of what people would say about me or how they would judge me. And I got news for you. None of my friends cared. They just heard about it and they're like, oh, cool. They moved on. No one cares at all about the fact that I do this YouTube, unless there's people out there who are watching my videos and they enjoy it and they put a comment. But no one cares about how you look. No one cares about you doing YouTube. No one cares about anything you do in your life. Because trust me, when you have something good happen in your life, everyone's around. When things are going bad, it seems like no one is around. The next thing I learned was life is never meant to be easy. I always thought once I get a job, once I get this pay and I get this salary, things will be a lot easier. It doesn't. Lifestyle creep is real. Very real. Things get expensive. You start buying more and more things in your life and things get a lot more difficult. Also, you think I have an emergency fund to take care of these things that could possibly pop up, unemployment or whatever, my car breaks down, and you recognize that sucks, okay? Even using your emergency fund sucks. It's great to have an emergency fund, but you could deplete it, you could wipe it out, might not be enough. And not just that, let's be quite honest, when shit happens, it just gets extremely frustrating, and you wish one day things would get a lot easier. And I got news for you, it's never gonna get easier. Things will always get hard. The better you are as a person, the more you advance in your career, the more you advance at life, now you'll be dealing with some difficult things because of the things you've been through in the past, which now will allow you to handle all these difficult situations. So think of it as a good thing. The next thing I learned is it's never too late to be great. We all have certain things within us that we always feel like, man, if I have the courage to do this, I would do this. But some of us stay shy, some of us stay quiet, and we want to just coast, right? We want to just get a job and just coast. Just get on by, get our paycheck, go home, and that's it. Some of us have this great business idea. We say, you know what? That's not for me. It's too difficult. I'm more of a person that's just working a 9-to-5. Entrepreneurship is not my thing. You got to be great in something within your life. If you go to the gym, be great in going to the gym. Be a great reader. Be great with your finances. Be great with so many things. Do not be afraid to try to be great. That was one of my biggest downfalls. That's why now I do this YouTube video, because I feel like I feel like I could do great content. And I was always afraid to be great, because when you're great, what happens? You're in the spotlight and no one really feels comfortable with being in the spotlight. The next thing I learned is when it comes to handling money, you need to simplify things as much as possible. You're working on a budget, you're paying all your bills, like do online, individually, you're not using auto pay. All that stuff could get really, really difficult, especially, when your life is kind of hectic. I learned to simplify my money as easy as possible. I know it's hard because then you start watching YouTube videos, people telling you, oh, you should invest in one way, oh, you should budget this way, and you start tweaking into. No, stick to one plan that works with you. Money management is supposed to be boring. It's supposed to be a set it and forget it. And I used to tinker so much thinking I have this great idea, this great plan, how to do my budgets, I do Excel spreadsheets, I do so many things. It doesn't need to be that difficult. Really, handling money is not supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be simple. It's hard when you got no money and you're broke, that's for sure. But once you have some money, a nice little nest egg, nice little emergency fund, it's supposed to be as simple as possible. So I learned, do not stress about money. I really never stress about money. I don't believe in money manifestation, stuff like that, but I always feel like things will always work out in the end. As long as you're doing things responsibly, it will always work out. And having a good money management system in play usually helps. The next thing I learned, and I'm learning this now, is corporate America could be a prison sentence. Now, what I mean by that is, working in a corporate job is supposed to give you some skills that you can take those skills and apply them somewhere else. But nowadays, people don't look at working in 9 to 5 or in corporate America that way. They look at working in corporate America as a way of survival, because you ended up having lifestyle creep, and then next thing you know, you're relying on this job for survival. You never ever want to rely on your job on survival. I learned that the hard way, okay? I really learned that the hard way. Every time I got a new promotion, a new job, my lifestyle increased. I got a better car, better things in my life. And I recognize now my whole life is paying these things off. That's a no-no. I hate going to work. I hate 9 to 5. But the reason why is not because of the job itself. It's because of what I put myself through. So every time you see those videos of people saying, I hate my 9 to 5, I want to quit, you got to sit back and ask, what did they do in their life what makes them hate a 9 to 5 so bad? And if they hate it so bad, why they never left before? Why you hung around there so long to make it a place that you want to hate and you do not want to go to? A majority of the reasons is they did it to themselves. The next thing I learned was mistakes is part of the learning process. I used to hate making mistakes. I get frustrated when I make a mistake. I then turn around and say, you know what? I'm going to avoid it. So I avoid doing things that are difficult. Mistakes are part of the learning process. If you make a mistake, and I made plenty of mistakes in my life, those are opportunities for me to learn and to grow and to never make those mistakes again. Because once you start seeing these mistakes, and that's why I'm a firm believer as well in your 20s and your 30s, make as many mistakes as possible, is that way, when you make that mistake, you could move on from the situation and get better from it. Do not look at mistakes as a bad thing. Usually people who are really successful in life make mistakes early and frequently, and that's how you learn. And that's how I learned, and making so many mistakes within my life that got me now to the age of 43, doing pretty well. And the next thing I learned was no one is to blame. People love blaming other people for their issues. It's your issue. Stop blaming other people. People now blaming everything with politics. Everything's with politics. They blame this party and that party. No, it's your issue. In your household, in your house, you are the president of your house. Stop worrying about the White House. Stop worrying about what the people got going on in their lives. You are the blame. Focus on yourself. Everything in my life changed when I focused on myself and I stopped worrying about what other people thought about me and stopped blaming other people for mistakes that I made. Only I am capable to make these mistakes, okay? Me, no one else. You gotta stop blaming other people. Once you take ownership of the mistakes that you made in your life, you will be able to live a lot happier life and not waste your 20s and 30s being all angry, bickering, and just complaining about everything going on in life. So there you have it. Those are the things that I learned throughout my life. And I'm gonna continue learning throughout life. 43 now. I can only imagine how things will be in my 50s. If there's anything you guys want to add to the bullcrap that you learned when the bullcrap, your experience, I meant to say, that you've been through in your 30s, please share it. Drop a comment down below because I would love to read it, because we all have interesting perspectives of life and I want to hear yours. Catch you guys in my next video. Peace.